Back to Crime Time with Jess. I have my special guest here, my love, Tyler. So we are going to be going over the Adventures with Purpose video about Kiely Rodni. And I've watched this multiple times at this point. Tyler has not. I've been trying to get him to watch it, but he's been working a lot. So I'll wait for some of you guys to get in here. I know that I don't schedule my lives. I'm sorry. But I'll just wait. Um, Tyler, do you have any preconceived notions about what this video is going to be? I mean, I've told you things like about the case and like I kind of kept you updated, but like, you know.
Not really.
No.
I'm kind of open to see what this is going to be about.
All right. So let's do it. We're going to play it and we're going to, stop and commentate on it. Hey, Damien, that's D.
What's up, Damien?
Yeah, that's D. Over here watching.
We need to come down to the beach and see you, man.
Yeah, we do. You know what? D, I don't know if you've been following the Kiely Rodni case or not, or know anything about it. Crazy case. There is an ongoing investigation as we speak, but law enforcement, they put like over 1,000 hours into this case. FBI, a bunch of police. Adventures with Purpose went out there and found her, I think, within 48 hours. Very quickly. Hey, girl. Hey, Oregon here. Hey, good to see you. Delaware here.
Hey,
Damien in Delaware as well.
Oregon. A second,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
What does that mean?
Her name's Deanna, not Oregon. I'm just joking.
Oh. Okay. Tyler being a whole entire weirdo. Anyway, so I'm going to take this chat down so you guys can see the screen better. And we are going to play this video. And I will tell you guys, definite viewer discretion advised. It gets deep. I'm going to just check on my phone real quick and make sure that you guys can see this because we have had issues.
I'm going to just check on my phone.
Yeah, you can. All right, so we're going to start the video. You ready, Ty? Okay.
An autopsy confirming specialty search and rescue for the Nevada County Sheriff Coroner. The search for Kiely Rodni AWP.
How do you die with her? Should that mean really weird questions, like in the sense of how do you put on your seatbelt?
Now we know we probably haven't tied a welcome. This drop is a big drop.
A mother is missing her 16-year-old daughter. We need to find her, bring answers to this family.
Tonight, the weeks-long search for missing teenager Kiely Rodni ended just yards from where it began.
Early 40s.
Interpretive pause. Okay, number one, this video is, if I could hire this editor, I absolutely would. But what you just seen, especially the diver Nick coming up and saying call the authorities, there's a heavy insinuation that foul play was involved. Tyler, as somebody that has not seen it, I think you're going to see this when we start. So here we go. And these are all the people that Adventures with Purpose have found.
It's a good intro.
Yeah, it really is. These are all the people that they found. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. 24 cold cases. We're going to have to get through an ad here.
How do we demonstrate our unmovable strength? Nope.
Yeah, they are great, dude. Absolutely.
Kiely Rodni was last seen August 6, 2022. She was driving a silver 2013 Honda CR-V, license plate number 8, Yankee Uniform Romeo 127. 16-year-old Kiely Rodni was last seen at a 300-person end of summer high school party in the Tahoe National Forest that stretched from Friday night into the early morning hours of Saturday. Authorities have conducted search efforts since then, including dive teams that entered Prosser Creek Reservoir on Wednesday, looking near the shoreline for signs of Rodni or her vehicle, but they found no clues that lead them to Rodni's whereabouts. Police said she last spoke with her friends and family shortly after midnight on August 6th, and her phone was turned off around 12:33 a.m. Law enforcement has expressed frustration at the lack of viable tips, and that few of the 200 to 300 people at the party are coming forward with information.
Few of the 200 to 300 people at a party have been reluctant to come forward. What does that say?
They're scared to get in trouble.
Yeah. But law enforcement also made it very clear, like, if you were drinking, you were doing drugs, you're underage, whatever, we don't care. We're looking for Kiely.
They still won't come forward.
No. Well, some, but the ones that have sus, that's my opinion, but you form your own, so here we go.
They're trying to control the narrative.
After picking up some supplies here in Reno, Nevada. We're on our way to work. The Kiely Rodni case just down the street in Truckee, California. And Nick, a longtime supporter, fan of ours, appreciate you for coming up to us, possibly has some information in regards to the Kiely Rodni case. So why don't you explain a little bit about what you may have run into?
So my name is Nick. I work at the emergency roadside assistance program. I got a call up in Truckee, Boca, for a battery call. So pretty much that means that the vehicle can't start. So I went en route up there, found the vehicle. At the time, I didn't realize that this was the situation until later on. But
let me stop right there. You said you went to Boca.
Yes, sir.
So over near Boca Lake.
Yes, sir.
So not Prosser Lake, Prosser Creek Lake.
It's right by Prosser Creek.
Yeah, so just north. So you went to Boca.
At first, when I went there, I realized after my test that everything was working great on the vehicle. At that point in time, I did notice that she was very hesitant and very skeptical on everything that was going on. She was asking me really weird questions, in the sense of how do you put on your seatbelt correctly, and she asked me to show her on how to connect it to her actual belt. After that, she was stating on how she was there all night and she can't get her vehicle started due to the fact that now we both realized it was in neutral. She was wearing a sweatshirt, so it looks like she has been there for quite a while.
What color was the sweatshirt?
It was a gray sweatshirt.
Was it dark gray or light gray?
It was light gray.
Okay, so we'll stop here for a second because this Lana Del Rey sweatshirt was apparently loaned to Kiely from her best friend Mags. So you can see that this sweatshirt is dark gray, correct? He says that the person was wearing a light gray sweatshirt. Okay.
Who? Her friend.
No, babe, are you following?
I'm trying. Who said this?
The guy you're watching.
Oh, so there was light gray. Okay.
Yeah, he says it's light gray. But this is the sweatshirt that we've been told or know that was loaned to her. So is there a potential that who he came in contact with, this roadside assistance guy, wasn't actually Kiely? This I keep feeling like that this wasn't Kiely. This was someone else with her car. That's how I'm feeling. So I'm leaning at, because okay, let's carry on.
Yeah. Also, there was a guy there that was with her at time being. He was wearing a black San Francisco flat top ball cap facing forwards. Brown hair was sticking out just a little bit on the sides. It was kind of like they were both kind of at unease, is what it looks like for me. Like as if either they had a crazy night or a crazy day, or there's something going on. I
That's a
couldn't know.
picture
At the
of the
time, I
party.
didn't realize what was going on. But other than that, he was, a thinner built guy is the best way I could put it. With a bro tank, and it was a white bro tank.
Okay, so let me just stop it here and tell you that description literally fits Jagger, which I think you've seen pictures of him.
Yeah, her ex-boyfriend.
Ex-boyfriend, on and off boyfriend, however you want to describe him. That's like describing him to a T. Weird. Okay, going on.
He had some freckles on his face, like, or maybe it was like acne or whatnot, but it was on both sides of his face. He was also a little bit like shorter than me, so I'm 6'3".
In hindsight, you're realizing all of this. When do you think that this?
And I would like to know how tall Jagger is. I don't know how tall he is. I know that Kiely was 5'7". I seen, the video. Jagger posted this
It
video
was quite.
on his
a
Instagram,
bit
and she
tall.
had like really long, like big heels on, and she was still shorter than him. So this guy is saying that he's 6'3". He does look quite tall, and that the guy was a little bit shorter than him. And I'm thinking that Jagger, I don't know his exact height, but I would like to know it either way.
Took place? Was it before, during the day, after she disappeared?
To be honest with you, it's either right after she disappeared or right before she disappeared. But it was around noonish, like 11 o'clock in the morning when I got out to her. During that period of time, after the period, I told her that I was going to leave, and I hope you had a great day. Vehicle, I told her to keep it running for a couple of hours.
Well, we're gonna have to get through another ad, but while we're doing that,
Obviously make sure everything's working good on the vehicle, charging system wise. At that point in time, then I left.
okay, I'm gonna stop just for a sec. My co-host here. It is 1:35 a.m. Tyler and I have been out for the night. We had dinner. We went and gambled. We didn't win. Sorry. We wish we did.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, we didn't. But he's really tired and he's trying to get through this. So bear with me, babe.
I'm trying. I
You
worked all day.
never. I understand, but you never live stream with me. So.
I know. That's the.
But we do talk about these cases, like behind the
We
scenes.
do.
We
We
do.
do.
Yeah. So this is. I'm happy to have you on, and I'm glad that you are able to stay up to do this, or hopefully you are. So anyway,
Coffee shop that she was gone.
You saw this on a flyer or something?
Yeah, but then everything spiraled out of control, and I got contact with the detective and tried to do everything I could, and then I saw you guys.
Now we know we probably have a tie to Boca, which was already on my radar. Do you know who placed the call to your roadside company?
So I can't get details. Calls don't go through me; they go through
Dispatch. So you don't have. So when you were digitally dispatched, did you call them to say you were coming, or you just showed up?
I did call, and nothing went through. It went straight to voicemail. Yeah.
You know if she had a phone on her at the time?
She did say that her phone was dead, and so she used whatever guy, whoever this was, she used his phone. So that's
whatever guy, she used his phone. Whatever guy, she used his phone. What I'm hearing, rumor wise, is that the guy has been identified. Hasn't been released publicly, like who it was. But I don't know that Kiely herself was positively identified. So you're going to hear this guy go on and say that he had cameras as a tow truck driver on the front of his truck, on the back of his truck. So that should be able to be easily verified by law enforcement. I do not think that Adventures with Purpose would put out a video like this if they didn't fully
have proof
or very strongly feel that this was foul play. So
you mentioned like she was asking funny questions and acting weird.
Granted, I at the time I didn't realize again.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the towing industry my whole life, so you see a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of weird stuff, and it's actually pretty normal. So I can see why at the time it's just. But she couldn't call.
She kept on going over that, like how do you like secure your seatbelt
like isn't that weird?
firmly and like do it
She's
correctly. And
asking these weird
she was
questions.
asking
How
this,
do you
was the
secure
guy
a
that she
seatbelt?
was with right
Why
there
would
too,
you
or
ask
on the
that?
opposite side of
It's
the car.
her vehicle. She knows how to secure
Every single time the guy would come over to us, she would go on to the other side, and it was just like a back and forth, like a tag team.
And
Like one person would come over, she wouldn't stay near him,
like,
and it would go vice versa. Or if we were at the front of the
Like,
car
put them in
going
there
about
so
the
they can
battery,
get
talking about the battery, he was always
You know
on
what I
one
mean?
side, she was on the other, never close to each
Yeah.
other.
She was uncomfortable. It's that screams awkwardness and someone being uncomfortable. And when in that scenario, if he was there with her, he should have been right next to her. If not, dealing with you the entire time. Not
Yeah, so he's basically saying like if it were you and I, my car's broke down, whatever, the tow people come out, I'm not. I hate gender roles. I really don't like them. They're generalized, but most likely you're gonna be dealing with the tow guy because he's gonna be talking a bunch of stuff about a car that I just don't give a shit about, and you would give a shit about. So he's even saying like, this guy, like, the tow truck driver would probably be dealing with a guy and not, what I'm saying? But that's not, which I do hate generals. I don't want to get too much into that, but I understand what he's saying.
You seem high, or
Because I don't have any interest in
I
cars and
thought that
things. I
maybe
just
she
don't.
was either hungover or just had a really rough day. She looked distressed.
Can you show me on the map where you saw her?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're here in Reno. Let's go down to Truckee. There's Prosser. There's Boca.
There's Prosser. There's Boca.
Exactly
See how
where you
close?
saw her.
We're at the right place, right?
So he puts the pin right where
Follow this road down.
he came into contact with her vehicle.
Right there. Yeah, this is it. And so right there, how she was coming out this way, and
Her front end was facing 894.
Yeah,
All right. And did you leave before her, or did she leave before you?
I left before her.
Was there anybody else around?
There was people far back here, yes, but not near her. No.
Did you notice anything in particular in her car at all?
I mean, besides perfume bubbles and actually there was a perfume bubble that was in the center console, and that was all that I recall. To be honest,
Did she have anything on her keys at all?
I don't remember.
Did you say that you guys have cameras that could possibly get some sort of facial recognition on?
Yeah, so we do indeed. We have cameras facing front and rear of our vehicles, as well as that we do have like audio, so we can pick up audio from inside and outside of the truck. So we did have that, and I'm guaranteed. I mean, my vehicle is facing directly towards hers, so that's how I normally do it for my protection.
What's the window?
I do have to say, I feel like Adventures with Purpose would not put this guy on if they didn't fully vet him or know that he had information. Because he does start talking to a detective. Things spiraled out of control. I think things got crazy for him. I just do not think that they would feature him at the beginning of this video for no reason.
Right.
There's a reason for that, So anyway.
You're giving us when this happened.
Either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I believe. The week.
Oh, let me stop one more time, because I feel like this is where it gets just a little sketchy with him, because they're like, can you give us a time frame? And he's like, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Friday was the party. Saturday was the day after the party, and then Sunday, like, everyone was looking for her. So that's a big time frame, or a big couple of days. Like, you're gonna have to be more consistent with what you're saying here.
Yeah, so I believe it wasn't on Sunday.
No, it couldn't have been on
So
Sunday.
it was Friday or Saturday. So that narrows down one day.
Well, he's gonna narrow it down more here, but here we go.
Weekends I usually cover Truckee, and that Friday I also worked in Truckee, so yeah.
If you were to make a bet on what day it was, what would you say?
I mean, when I was looking back under my GPS, under my phone where I've been, I was there both Saturday and Sunday, farther in to Boca.
Saturday.
Everything you just heard unfolded right here where I'm standing. Talking about where Nick described him parking his service van. When he pulled up to get the battery service to Kiely, parked his van right here, facing that direction. Her vehicle was parked right over here, facing 894.
Another ad. What are you thinking? Let's do another interpretive pause. I just cannot stream this all the way through. It would be untoward of me, and I'm not trying to get my channel struck, but I've watched this video so many times. Can I just get your thoughts so far, Ty, as a person that has not watched this at all?
So far,
You're gonna have to lean in closer, babe. I don't know if you're even in the camp, but go ahead.
Well, so far, I truly believe the guy that they're talking about might be her ex-boyfriend. I mean,
Certainly sounds like it.
It does, because every single video I've seen with him, he's wearing that hat.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
I think the hat's the most telling thing.
And then with his hair and all, like, that's very strange.
Well,
and then You know, he had a lot of information about this party. Oh, I know this drug was there and that drug. Oh, my cousins were there.
No. You're getting it mixed
Oh,
up.
I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're talking about the Ronnie guy. He called into Ickmel's show and talked about that. We're talking about Jagger, which is Kylie's ex-boyfriend, on and off. He's something of that nature.
Right, but he said he wasn't there.
Yes, he said he was not there. He came Saturday to, when he found out she was missing, to search. But when AWP, Adventures with Purpose, said, like, you know, they found her and then they put up a thing, I think it was on Instagram, Jagger underneath it called them clout chasers. Yeah, see, your face like is saying it all to me like right now. Clout chasers, and said that their witness, that guy that you just watched, basically sort of described someone that looks just like Jagger. He described him as a liar, which to me is really odd, because if you're not guilty of something and it sounds like your description, you would be like, hey, listen, I know that sounds like me. It was not me, but I want to know who that is. So let's find that guy. But instead, he's like, your witness is an effing liar, and whatever he said. But he just called them a liar. And I think the strangest thing is that the people closest to Kiely have been mad at them. I do not understand that. They found her. That's what you guys all wanted.
The family was happy, right?
Well, the mother was no.
Really?
No. Well, not with them. Some people say this was debunked. In my opinion, it was not. It was set to friends only. It was in a specific group. It was her. She basically said that, you know, they were not her heroes. They never will be. She was upset, and I think this is more a mom and dad issue. She was upset because she was told by a waiter. She was in a sushi bar, and like a waiter, waitress, whatever, told her. She didn't know. But Adventures with a Purpose contacted the contact they had, which was the dad's sister, the grandmother, the dad, and the grandfather, and that was up to them. They absolutely should have notified her, but I don't.
Divorced?
Yeah, they're not together.
Okay.
They're not together.
Okay.
But even so, I mean, I feel like Adventures with a Purpose, they found their daughter. You know what I mean? So they left that up to them to do. So that's an inner conflict that I really don't want to go too much into. She's upset. I feel like they responded appropriately and just said, you know, people are going to grieve in the way that they want and blame what they want. We're going to move on and help the next family. So they're very upstanding professional guys. You know, they don't want any of that sort of thing, and they're not going to besmirch a family. And I really love how much they attempt to really respect families, because they know how hard this is for them. You know, so anyway, carrying on. Just picture, you know, this is going to be crazy for you, but just picture if it was Aubrey and this was happening.
Yeah, I have. It almost brought me to tears.
Really?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. All right. So
that's why the video of the little tool to break the glass and things like that.
Yeah.
I was saying we should probably get one.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you pictured this being about Aubrey and you got choked up, or?
Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's carry on, I guess.
I know what we would normally do, because we're normally working cold cases that have hardly had any resources whatsoever applied to them. This case has had over 10,000 man hours, over the last 2 weeks placed in at Prosser. I'm confident in what has been done at Prosser. Doesn't mean I'm not going to check it. Just means that I'm not going to start there. We're making the most of our time by starting where we know not that much work was put into.
Smart.
I'm a firm believer in second chances. However, some things don't deserve forgiveness. Maliciousness does not deserve forgiveness. Cold-blooded, cold-heartedness, taking the life of a 16-year-old.
Taking the life of a 16-year-old deserves zero forgiveness. If there's any statement, Nick's reaction is gonna surprise. It's gonna be hard to watch, but that statement right there, taking the life of a 16-year-old deserves zero forgiveness.
I agree.
It's a statement.
Cut their life short.
Well, it's not just that. They're absolutely alluding to this is abnormal. She was in the back seat. She was not in the driver's seat. They have found other people, like I was saying to you, didn't even have their seatbelts on, still in the driver's seat. You're going to see Kiely's dad react to her not being in the driver's seat all the way in the back in the cargo section. So I just do not feel that they would say things like this and put this in their video if they did not believe that this was foul play. And I think with the people they found, what they understand about cars going in the water, they're saying this for a reason. So carrying on.
Deserves zero forgiveness. I have set a radius of 10 miles around Prosser Creek Reservoir. We're going to work hard to clear Stampede, Independence, Boca, and Prosser Creek all within that 10-mile range.
Yeah, tomorrow marks 2 weeks since the trucking teenager disappeared after attending a party at a campground. We are learning tonight that a new group of volunteers are coming from out of state to help find her.
Everybody just wants the same outcome. It doesn't matter who finds her.
40 to 50 feet offshore, you could easily conceal a vehicle right in here.
Doug Bishop and his team is ready to join the search for missing trucking teenager Kiely Rodni.
We all have one goal. We all just want to find Kiely. I just located in the corner of this cove here a target that I cannot identify. We're also talking about a vehicle that is not going to come off the way a vehicle would if it had been under here for 10 years. Based on the height, it's not anything. However, I just want to make sure. The reason that this is suspicious is because you could dump a car down that hill back here in this corner, in this little cove, and no one will see it.
The team coming in just days after authorities announcing they are scaling back the search for Kiely.
We've had over 9,000 man hours into searching, which is pretty astronomical.
That's a shit.
Our biggest problem is where do we go and how do we keep sustaining this?
They just want help. They don't care how it gets done. They just want it done.
Okay, listen to this.
Hey, Nick. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was just doing a test to see if a vehicle did go down in here, if they had cell service to call somebody. Because we're not far from where she had to call because of the apparently couldn't start the vehicle.
Right.
So, okay, just testing.
All right, buddy.
All right, bud.
So we've cleared the area behind the campground that was just behind where Nick serviced her car, allegedly, the day after she went missing. And we're now coming up along 894 as it heads north up towards Stampede Reservoir. There's a guardrail right there.
However, if a vehicle went off this, you would have evidence of it. Unfortunately, we didn't find anything, but at least we can say we cleared it, and she's not in this lake with her vehicle.
I hope it's an accident, because accidents happen, as tragic as it would be regardless if she's no longer with us. An accident is better than somebody maliciously doing something horrible to her. I mean, you can just imagine the way that would happen in your last moments, knowing that someone is taking your life, versus I'm in an accident and it's quick and it's just different. It's a lot different, and I hope that if that's how this is ended, it's an accident versus at the hand of somebody else.
What would you want to say to Kiely tonight?
I love her so much, so many people love her. And we're all trying so hard, and I'm so sorry we haven't found you yet, but we're not giving up, and just hang in there, sweetie. Like soon.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna choke up. I can see it already, babe. We haven't even got to the worst parts of this.
Someone knows something. They're asking anyone with information to come forward.
When you miss a loved one or a friend or a community member and you don't know, it's a nightmare. I don't want to find her. I want to be able to clear all this water and be able to tell the family she's home.
Again, I just have to quickly interpretive pause, but just commend these men. I truly don't think that they wanted to find her. That's traumatic. And when you see Nick come up after viewing the vehicle and her, you're going to see that emotion on his face. This is not a time of joy. You know, yes, they found her and that is great, but what he saw is probably going to stick somewhere in his mind for the rest of his life. You don't witness deceased young people like that in the back of a car and not think about that forever. And when you see his reaction, you'll understand what I'm saying. But here we go.
That was, I think, the area of interest. It looks like there's no way you could get a vehicle in there.
We got to get through another ad. That's okay. YouTube seizes opportunities.
We're here at one of the ponds behind the shopping center, and as we can tell, there's not hardly any access whatsoever for a vehicle, plus it is extremely shallow. We're here, the ground is a lot harder, so the tire tracks are a lot harder to see. However, we can see tire tracks clear as day. You got a tire track right here. Look at this. See that? Those are tire tracks. We also have, equipment there, trucks during the day, probably workers. But whether or not we can see tire tracks, it doesn't matter, because I can see out at least more than 100 feet. You can clearly see the growth. In the growth, the pattern in the growth, the vegetation, nothing's been changed. If a car would go in, there'd be a path, and a car's not going to go that far out right here. There's no path. There's nothing cut. You could launch a car off here, though. It's just, you're not going to hide it right there. Saturday, August 20th, Red Downer Lake, Truckee, California. We can see a lot of visibility. I can see the...
D, I'm going to say to you, I'm looking at my phone at the comments. They play that for YouTube. No, listen. These dudes are the real deal. Doug, the guy that's on my screen right now, this guy started as a tow truck driver. Him and his wife are like going out to rivers and pulling things out like in the early days. He has evolved into this, into helping people. They have literally solved, 24 cold cases where not a lot of police resources, not a lot of anything, and they found these people very quickly. What they do is a special skill set. They use something called sonar technology, and it's nothing new. Fishermen use it and things like that. But the way that they read it and the way that they go about it, they're able to find people very quickly. You really just cannot deny the work that they do. And they did call, being on YouTube this way almost like a necessary evil, that they sort of have to show their work so that they can keep helping other people. But I will not besmirch them in any way for that, because they get results. And quite frankly, I feel like if it was not for them, Kiely probably still at this very moment wouldn't have been found or found anytime soon.
I agree. I feel like it would have been a cold case.
It would have been another cold case that maybe they would have solved in 15 years. But yeah, anyway, carry on.
Bottom. I still can see the bottom. Wow. No, we can't see it on drone. So right here where it stops, it drops off significantly. So if it were to come in here, it's going to make it, this drop is a big drop, so it's going to keep it. If it went in here, it's going to keep going. We're not going to be able to see it.
Although the team could not say specifically what brought them out here to Donner Lake, they are concentrating on the boat launch and the area surrounding it.
4 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet, 16, 17, 19, 22 feet, 26, 30, 42 feet, 50 feet. Wow.
Yeah.
It gets deep quick.
It does
get
deep.
very deep. 75 feet, 80 feet already. 93 feet, 105 feet. I'm going to change my scanning to 100 feet. Either way.
That's how deep that got that quick.
117 feet deep right here. 142 feet. Do some vertical in and out patterns. Sure. 117 feet deep right here. 142 feet. Coming down the side here, 41 feet. So if we are considering foul play, would you do this right across the street from the fire department?
In a panic scenario, if you only know the areas that you're familiar with, you don't know people do weird stuff when they're in a panic.
People can do weird stuff when they're in a panic.
That's why I'm just being real.
Right, I got you.
Jasmina, I know that they started doing this type of thing in 2019. So it hasn't been that long. It's only been several years, but you really would do well to go back through Adventures with a Purpose, go back through their story. These people have literally just done good in the world. And it's so rare that you see that. And this is why you see the outpouring of love for them.
What is that? Rocks? How's it still under there? Must just be rocks. A layer of them or something?
I don't think it will roll that far, man.
Especially because there were rocks. I know that there'd be air in it and they would come up, but
It just depends on how buoyant it was.
there's no way. Once it gets, it's not 50 yards maximum. Go one more time over by that corner. Yeah, there's a little spot at the end that could have gone off. See that doesn't have a curve?
Another ad we got to get through here.
If you look over here, you can see there's no guardrail or anything on this road. So we're just going to scan the whole lake right here, make sure it's clear, because a vehicle could easily, whether it's accident or on purpose, go off the road into the lake. It drops off pretty steep. We're at 31 feet out here, so that's why we're going to clear it.
To see how much work these guys put
Lake's
into
clear.
this.
It's super shallow around the edges, other than right here, but you can see the bottom for almost 100, 150 feet off the shoreline. And there was only a few places where a car could even make it in there. We went even above and beyond that, so I'm 100% confident that the vehicle is not in this lake.
We have now cleared 5 miles of shoreline on all 3 boat ramps here on Donner Lake.
And you know, we still have questions and not a ton of answers. So maybe one of you, I know somebody out there has answers. If you or somebody you know thinks you might know something that happened that day or that night, you need to come forward. You need to step up, call the authorities, talk to somebody, and get the information out there. There's a 16-year-old daughter missing. A mother is missing her 16-year-old daughter. We need to find her, bring answers to this family.
The team specializing in cracking cold cases free of charge, and they came from miles away to help solve her mysterious disappearance, now 2 weeks after she went missing.
Day 2 in our search for Kiely Rodni. We're beginning right here at Ground Zero, Prosser Family Recreation Site, where Kiely...
Olivia, I'll just answer your question real quick of what I think. It's because, again, it's just what Adventures with Purpose said, that they specialize in this. This is what they do. This is all that they do. So, you know, when you have a specialized team that only focuses on this, they're more useful, obviously. So that's probably the only answer that I can give. But either way, regardless of who found Kiely, I think we just have to be thankful that she was found. And I do hope that law enforcement, you know, doesn't get an ego about it. And I don't know that they have, but I think what Adventures with Purpose has to offer is very important. And if they could, yeah, absolutely. And if they could train, you know, even helping the FBI and things like that with how they read this technology that they use would be very useful. Continuing on.
16-year-old Kiely disappeared from. According to law enforcement, this was her last known location. Yesterday, we based our search off of a tip that we deemed credible. We took that, we dissected it, and determined that we should start in a different area. Those areas were within our 10-mile radius. We were able to rule them out, and that's what brings us back to square one here at Prosser Family Campground.
Kiely and her family are from the local area here in Truckee, California. And everywhere we've gone along this search, we've seen these posters absolutely everywhere. It's great to see a community come together in support for this family in need. And it's also because of a community like you that we are able to do what we do. So please, if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, share, and watch these videos. We really appreciate everything you do for us.
I'm going to echo that real quick. Again, these guys are just top notch. And they do give a crap. They do care. So, you know, if you want to subscribe to their channel, I would definitely encourage that. They're very informative. They have videos about how to escape cars. What they do is very, very interesting. And what they're doing with, or what they have done with Kiely's case is unusual for them, because they usually always do cold cases. So Kiely's case being an active investigation with so many people reaching out and pretty much begging them to come and help, they did. And it is out of the norm for them. But again, they got results in 2 days that law enforcement couldn't in 2 weeks. So yeah,
which is nuts.
It is, but again,
They specialize.
They specialize in this, so it is what it is.
Yeah, thank you so much. Of course, a lot of questions, as you did mention there, and a big one is this dive team was able to find her. They went out there this weekend, found her pretty quickly. While investigators searched that area and haven't found her, have they responded to say, I guess, why that is?
Questions out. Time is 10:41. We are now on Prosser Creek Reservoir. This is, according to law enforcement, Kiely's last known location. So we're looking for a silver vehicle. Her Honda CRV is silver in color. Helicopters have stated that they can see the bottom of this reservoir. We've had multiple different extreme levels of sonar utilized by different sonar teams in this reservoir. I'm confident in what they've done. However, and not to sound cocky, but if we haven't searched it, it hasn't been searched. That's our motto, so that we stay efficient and protect the integrity of everything we do as we're working for families and law enforcement. So I'm theorizing that the bottom of this reservoir is a similar color to silver. Could it have not been seen? Absolutely. Could the car be in here? According to law enforcement, like I said, we are at her last known location. They said her cell phone stopped pinging right here at 12:33 a.m. on August 6th. Today, we're going to be putting myself and Nick 2 boats in. For one, it's going to be great training for Nick. As you guys know, we're training Nick to be a team lead for our second team. So not only is 2 boats better than 1, but we're also utilizing my ability to put Nick out in front of me so I can see what he's seeing, see what he misses, see if he catches anything, and so forth. Great training.
I'm going to stop right here. Interpretive pause. I have to say, I'm going to throw just a little slight humor in here. We have Doug here saying, you know, this is a great training opportunity. And Nick's just like, hold my beer. Because not only am I going to find this girl, I'm also going to dive down there and do all of this. So, yeah, great training opportunity. But huge kudos to Nick for what he did, because he initially scanned and spotted it and then dived down, and his reaction is palpable.
And speaking with the Placer County Sheriff's Department, they did advise me that it got down to about 55 feet deep, and right now we are at 45 feet, reading on live scope. Real consistent 45 feet here.
To see this.
So obsessed.
I'm
so
another ad.
So
Sorry.
So obsessed.
Again, YouTube knows what they're doing. They didn't put these ads here.
I cannot name who did, but it says The Truckee Facebook missing persons groups are on fire with speculation about what happened to Kiely. Thing is that some of it may not be speculation. It may be real.
I actually want to slow this video down at this point because I have watched this so many times, and I swear that he's gonna bleep out the girl that Kiely got into a fight with. If you guys remember, I'm sure you do, there was a mass exodus. Like, everyone exited the party around 12:30. And what he's saying is basically, Kiely got into a fight with another girl. But they do bleep out the name. They do put out a black bar across his mouth so you can't see who he's saying. It is of my opinion that he is saying Sammy. You could take that as you want, but I've watched this like a million times. That's just what I'm coming to the conclusion with. But let's watch.
Clues as to what happened. The party, 200 plus. Fact is there was a lot of drinking and drugging. Reported fights. Some disturbing behavior between Kiely and a girl named minutes before.
If you just watch his mouth when he says that, disturbing reports between Kiely, and then again, he bleeps it out. They bleep it out. But it just, to me, it's kind of obvious. Yeah, I know, I'm going way too far back. Let me go a little bit further back. But yeah, to me, I just feel like he says Sammy. That's what I feel like he says.
Kiely. Thing is that some of it may not be speculation.
Watch his mouth, please.
It may be real clues as to what happened. The party, 200 plus. Fact is there was a lot of drinking and drugging. Reported fights, some disturbing behavior between Kiely and a girl named minutes before.
I swear he says Sammy there. I really do.
Suddenly breaking up. And then cars started flying out of the parking lot. Something bad happened, and all the kids' parents told them not to get involved. You may want to keep in mind that there's a possibility of what happened to Kiely could be more sinister, and there was a panic. I knew. I feel the same way. A kid goes missing after attending a party of 200 to 300 people. There's always, most likely, something that happened at that party. Someone knows something. Someone possibly did something. It's an accurate and fair assessment to make. Not only one person knows, but multiple people know. This boat ramp over here is in our target area as well. This entire reservoir, but we have another boat ramp right here. You can see the cars, how they pull down right to the water all the way over here. So if something bad happens, you can put a car in here anywhere. We are on the side where the party was, here at the campground. So
I'm going to viewer discretion right now because we really are about to get into the meat and potatoes of this, and this is always where I cry. So I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to try to cry. But yeah, this is the meat and potatoes of it.
We're going to find the vehicle. I would fully expect to find it right where we are right now. Really shallow, man. It's only 2 feet.
Does this lake get pretty dry at the end of the summer? Really? Okay. There's some weird.
Shit, sorry.
Let me see the camera. We'll go by it a couple times. There's something creating a big shadow right there. So we're going to go turn off this point. If they scanned it, how would they miss that? So I'm assuming it's nothing because they did have dive teams, but I don't want to be the guy that just says, oh, it's nothing because it doesn't look like a car.
Hey, Doug, Devin over here. We may have something. It's hard to tell. My scope doesn't work, so it's hard to verify, but we're definitely getting a solid cache shallow.
Where are you at?
And it's to, I sent the coordinates to Carson, but we're on the, is this the eastern part of the shore? I know. We're by the other boat ramp, not the one that you guys went towards, but the one at the top of the lake.
So we're going to head over here to the other side of the reservoir where there are lots of drive lanes down to the water's edge where people have cookouts, get-togethers, parties, family gatherings. This is a prime location where Kiely's vehicle could have made it into the reservoir. Is that what you just saw?
Yeah. So just a big shadow there. You see that?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense though. It's only 10 feet of water. We definitely have something man-made.
This is how you know these guys are the real deal. I'm looking at this. You're looking at this, Tyler. Does this look like shit to you? I would have no idea what I'm looking at. And fishermen use sonar all the time, and they still would not be able to spot this. So here we go.
Big.
It's probably nothing, but there's a big shadow.
It's something.
Isn't that weird? I mean, that's just big.
It's definitely something directly under us right now. What is that, Carson? Is that a boat? Or is that an SUV? Whatever it is, it has buildup on it. Could be a car. More in the shape of a boat. And I'm seeing similarities that show buildup. Which we shouldn't have buildup on this car.
That right there.
It's only been 2 weeks.
This
It looked like an upside down sunken boat.
Possibly. Could be a boat. It's something. I believe it's a car. And I have to be quiet because I don't want to alarm the entire campground right now. This is an ongoing investigation. Man, getting some funny imaging on this. Which is indicative of a newer vehicle.
This is where it's all about to pop off.
That's a wheel. See the wheel?
See the wheel? Watch.
Is it a wheel? Is it a boat? It's like a wheel, man. Look at that. Look at that. That's a wheel. That's a wheel. Yeah, a wheel.
Here he is. He's about to bust up his magnet and watch.
It's tall, whatever it is. Got it. We got car. So, trying to pull myself directly over it. Look at that. It's not getting a good.
Crown Royal, I absolutely agree. Look how close to the shore they are. Just look how close they are. And there was dive teams, FBI dives, all kinds of things. They did not find this. It's kind of amazing, but yeah.
Reading, but there's a wheel. You see it?
Do you see a wheel? They see that shit.
We need to go get suited up. We need to figure out how to get our RV over here. You guys put us in this position.
David said you're lacking on the cricket. You can hear the cricket. Yeah.
Let's assess our situation. 18 different agencies. Over 19,000 man hours have been put into this. Not a zero vehicle was found in this reservoir.
Yeah, I agree, Subbits. It is really amazing what they miss.
That is giving me a really weird reading. It looks just like a car. It looks just like an SUV. And it looks like it's giving me some misreadings the way a newer car would. So amazing scan. Great job, man. Great job scanning that. We need to do this as quietly as possible.
You were able to get a mic?
Oh yeah, and it's slipping. It's slipping on some of the vehicle the way a newer car would. And actually, it's not getting it's smooth. I can tell that it's smooth. Is it a boat? It absolutely could be a boat, but I doubt it, man.
Most boats are.
Yeah. Right. No one at camp can know what we're doing. Everybody's phones need to be turned off. If you have a phone, you need to turn your phone off right now. The last thing that we want to do it's caused alarm to the family and or the local law enforcement. If this is a car and it's not the car we're looking for, I want to be able to do that peacefully. I don't want to cause turmoil. If anybody knows that we found a car right now, it's gonna be unnecessary. It's gonna be unnecessary trauma for the family. We need to go back to the ramp and cause as little. We found nothing. We're just moving locations. That's all. Okay. All right. If this is her, this means all hope is lost as far as her still being out there and her showing up, her being found safe. This is devastating. This is devastating as a kid. It's different when we're finding somebody who's been missing for 20 and 30 years.
Right.
This child, 16-year-old, same age as my daughter. She's only been missing for 2 weeks.
I totally felt Doug in that moment when he said all of that, because it's absolutely true. I have a 17-year-old son. I have a 19-year-old daughter. He has a 16-year-old daughter, same age as Kiely. And I have felt the same way with this case. Just, like, I just couldn't even imagine what this would feel like as a parent.
Literally, the campground is right up over the hill. Right over the hill. This car is 3/10 of a mile from the campground she was at.
3/10 of a mile. Here's what I would like to see if I can find her freaking car. Scooty.
This is absolutely a crime scene. It's an active investigation. Our job is to be here to find the where, which we have done. Now we need.
I find it really interesting there that he said this is absolutely a crime scene. A crime scene.
To assess it appropriately. Full assessment. Condition of the vehicle, windows up or down. Do not remove license plate like we normally do.
This is always where I get emotional when I see the car. And yeah, I'm going to give my own. You guys see what it says. Sections of the scene are blurred. Viewer discretion is advised to hide sensitive images. I know that there has been some creators that have really tried to zero in on her body. I'm not going to do that. I feel like if you watch this closely, you're going to see an outline. They do try to blur it because it is a deceased 16-year-old. So here we go again.
I see the vehicle and the license plate. We have just found Kiely's vehicle. Over.
10-4. Do a full assessment methodically, slowly. Make sure you focus on footage of the vehicle so that we can accurately relay that to the authorities.
The vehicle is upside down. I repeat, it is upside down. I'm at the rear of the vehicle now, working my way around towards the driver's side.
10-4. I read you loud and clear.
I'm approaching the driver's side window, trying to get a look inside.
Your hands pressed. Looking. You see that window busted out? You see that? That's a broken window.
Positively identified. Everybody inside here.
So he hasn't seen her yet.
10-4. Take your time. Be safe.
I have to stop here and just say that I know you guys just seen the fishes it's sincere. I don't know why this really bothers me, because I do fully suspect foul play at this point, and the term "sleeping with the fishes" just replays in my mind. And as I said, I do fully. I'm looking at foul play heavily in this, and I feel like these persons, whoever, literally made Kiely sleep with the fishes, and it just is really disturbing to me. But here we go.
Set 4. I read you loud and clear. Set 4.
That's the driver's window. Or passenger window. Passenger window broken out.
Rear driver's side window is halfway down.
Halfway down.
Copy that. Rear driver's side window is down.
This part.
Yep. That's what we do it for, brother. Good job. Good job. Positive, you know? All right.
She's in the back of the vehicle. She's not in the driver's seat. It looks suspicious to me.
Yeah.
Vehicle's upside down. One window is halfway down. One window is all the way down. Call the authorities.
We help families all across the nation, and when we find out, they are notified first. So we're going to notify them first. My very next call will be the local authorities.
Again, that the diver, his name is Nick. His reaction just says it all to me. With these windows being halfway down, one of them busted out. What does that say to you, Ty? If anything,
That other people were in the vehicle.
really? Because what I'm thinking is that whoever put her car in neutral, potentially, and let it roll down there, they busted out those windows and rolled down those windows so that vehicle would not float, that it would sink a lot faster. If Kiely,
in the back seat or in the back of the car,
well, why would you think? Do you think she got in the back seat herself and put her car in neutral and rolled in there? Highly doubtful.
I think they put her in the back of the vehicle at the campsite, drove her down there, and then let it go.
Possible, but if you remember the beginning of this video, this roadside assistance guy is saying that he saw her potentially around 11-12 on Saturday with a guy that had a black straight build hat on with a SF San Francisco. It's exactly the hat that Jagger, her ex-boyfriend, has been seen in numerous pictures and all of that.
But she messaged her mom and said, "I'm on my way home."
Allegedly her.
Who
Again,
else would?
I don't know, B, but what I'm saying is the roadside assistant guy said that the person that he was talking to was wearing a light gray hoodie. That wouldn't, unless Kiely got a third hoodie that night. The hoodie that she was loaned was dark gray, not light. And he was also talking about these two people with Kylie's car staying really away from each other. One would go to one side, the other would go to the other side. He even described it as tag teaming. So, was that Kiely, or was that someone that looked a lot like Kiely? Not to accuse anyone, but her friend Kate looks very similar to her. Anyway, okay, let's move on with this, because it is really going to get emotional after this. I always kind of lose it, and I'm going to try to keep it together, but this is the part that always just gets me, all of this.
Right there?
Yes, sir.
They missed it.
Okay, real quick, I'm sure you guys have seen this. Tyler has not. What are you doing? Oh, you're shutting the cam. Okay, so Tyler has not seen this. This guy right here in the plaid shirt is Kylie's father. The man in the green shirt with the hat on is Kylie's grandfather, her dad's dad. So they're both down there. Her dad is just livid of how in the world, and he does use, he drops some F-bombs in there, but he's angry. How did they miss this? She's right there. So you're gonna see this, but here we go.
He did say it was like 100 foot down or something.
No, babe, no, he's gonna explain. Just listen.
In our investigation coming into this, this is just what we do. We find vehicles underwater. We specialize in it. I don't know what you guys know, and we don't always know the why. We just try to find where, and that's why I can't relate with whatever you're speaking on right now. The car is upside down, but that's common when a car goes in the water because the wheels make it buoyant.
The windows are closed, probably.
All of the windows except for one. Yes.
Which one?
So Nick is my diver.
Which windows up or down? The what was it?
Driver rear.
Driver rear was down, and the passenger rear was halfway.
Is she seat belt? No. Is she in the driver's seat?
No.
No.
She's in the back?
She's in the back.
Yes.
I would recommend.
Right there, her father turning around and looking at his dad when he let's go back. I just want to watch that just one more time. When her father turns around and looks at his father when they hear that she was not in the driver's seat. He knows. They know. Right there. Look at his reaction.
And the passenger rear was halfway.
Is she seat belt? No. Is she in the driver's seat?
No.
She's in the back?
She's in the back.
Yes.
I would recommend. It's your daughter. This is your daughter. To do what you want to do. I would recommend this is not a part of that. Yeah.
My last one.
I'm done.
I think that's a normal parent reaction. With this, like he said, if this is going to be the last memory of my daughter, I just can't. I can't effing do this. I just can't do this, and I get that. I don't. Me personally, just my personality, I probably would stay, but I absolutely understand a parent that just cannot. And I've actually never been in his shoes, thank God.
I won't be able to.
You don't think you would be able to?
Mm-mm.
Well, you know me. I think I would be. But it just again, like if you left, I wouldn't hold it against you. Because I've never been in this man's shoes, so I'm only saying what I think I would do, but I don't know. So
Okay. I want to confirm everything. Yeah, behind me is the buoy under. You see the buoy behind me? 14 feet under the buoy is her vehicle. My diver was able to identify. There are remains in the back.
The specialty search and rescue team, Adventures with Purpose, say that they have located the body.
okay, this always bothers me Let me just take these subtitles down. This picture gets me every single time. This is Kylie's grandfather. You know that this is her dad's dad, and her father could not bring himself to have that as his last memory of watching his daughter deceased being pulled out, but her grandfather chose to stay. And this picture of him sitting there by himself, just staring at this buoy where her car is, this kills me. I have watched this. I've taken picture, like a screenshot of it, because it's just so painful. I mean, just imagine that this is your granddaughter, and you're just sitting there knowing that she's right there where that red buoy is, dead, and you're just staring at it. And this picture, just out of everything, there's something about this that just breaks me. It breaks my heart to see that.
Body and vehicle of the missing teen. They say they found Rodni inside her car, which is in just 14 feet of water. The team says they've notified family and law enforcement. Placer County Sheriff's Office will now be taking over the investigation.
She was last seen around midnight at a high school graduation party with more than 100 people. Kylie had texted her mother that night, telling her she would be leaving the party in about 45 minutes, and her mom texted her to be safe and told her she loved her. She said her daughter texted, "Okay, Mom, I love you too." Kylie's silver Honda SUV had never been found until reportedly today.
Yes, Damien, 14 feet of water. This is how, right here, this is how she was right there. She really was. Where that buoy is that you guys are seeing, that's how close from the shore she was. I think she was only 600 feet from where the party was. Very, very, very close. Okay, so obviously you guys know, and for those that don't, she was in the back rear of the cargo space in the car. So this is why you are seeing the tarps over that part of the car. They didn't want the media or anyone to be able to take pictures of her deceased body. And that's why you see them putting up those black and green things to shield any sort of pictures from the media.
We believe out of the 200 to 300 juveniles and young adults who were at that party, somebody must know something.
I've thought about that date, but I just don't think so. Yeah, I agree.
This just into our newsroom. The Nevada County Sheriff Coroner has confirmed the body found in the car that was pulled from Prosser Lake over the weekend is that of missing druggy teen Kiely Rodni. She just graduated high school at 16 with high honors. She's so intelligent and beautiful and just such a kind and wonderful person. We just want her home. We're so scared and we miss her so much and we love her so much. And Kiely, we love you. And if you see this, please just come home. I want nothing more than to hug you.
So there's the whole video, and Damien, she wasn't in the back seat. Belinda is correct. She was more in like the cargo area, like the very far, yeah, like basically, I guess you could say the trunk. So it's just crazy unlikely that she would be back there. They have found people before that didn't have their seatbelt on or anything of that nature, and they were still in the driver's seat. I think you guys can see that, when Nick came up and said she's in the back of the car, she's not in the driver's seat. That's because when they have found other people, again, even with them not being seatbelted in, they were still in the driver's seat. The fact that she was not, that she was all the way in the back in the cargo area of this car. Again, I feel like out of this entire video, Nick the diver's reaction was everything.
Yeah,
You agree?
yeah, his face was just like in shock and disbelief.
You gotta speak up a little bit, babe, but I hear you. I mean, I can move the mic so we could do this, but yeah, it really was shock and disbelief. And he just, what did he say? It looks suspicious to me. She's not in the driver's seat. She's in the back. Call law enforcement. And he even knows that that is not Adventures with Purpose typical protocol. They always call the family first.
Which they did.
They did, but with his reaction of even going against that, just called law enforcement. He was even going outside of that, of just what he saw. He said it. It looks suspicious to me. She's in the back of the car. She's not in the driver's seat. The windows were rolled down. There was a window that was busted out. What does that suggest? It suggests that whoever put her car there purposely did that.
Wanted it to sink fast.
Yes, they wanted it to sink very quickly. How do you do that? Roll the windows down. Push the car in. It's not going to float very long. Water is going to rush in very quickly.
Absolutely.
And it's going to go down. And then you have to look at what her friends said. You have Sammy Smith, who was at that party with her, allegedly, by Sammy's word, the entire time, and they were drinking together. They were going back to her car, this and that. But there was a fight between Kiely and someone. This caused the mass exit from the party. They bleep out the name that she got in a fight with. I have to just theorize that it was Sammy. Sammy had been drinking with her all night by her own admission. We were sharing drinks. We were going back to our car. We were drinking. But she still said, oh, well, she was drunk. So I was going to get a ride from her, but she was too drunk. So I got a ride from someone else. She mentions nothing about Kiely getting into a fight with anyone. She does mention that every year there's these fights at these parties, and it's just for, who's the biggest, baddest, can like bang on their chest type thing. But she doesn't mention any fight with Kiely. But apparently, according to some, that's what happened. That Kiely got into a fight with someone. It seems like her that she got into this fight with, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but that's just what I'm thinking. So, babe, after watching that whole video, you are my special guest tonight. Um, just your overall opinion after watching that for the first time.
Definitely suspicious activity.
You think so?
Yeah,
Foul play?
absolutely.
And why?
Mainly because her body's in the back of the car.
Windows
Yeah.
down.
It'd be one thing if she was in the passenger seat or the driver's seat.
You gotta speak up.
It'd be one thing if her body was in the driver's seat or passenger seat, but all the way in the back of the car, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
It just
like
doesn't.
the far back.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And again, I just keep reiterating this, but Adventures with a Purpose does not do this. They don't go on people's live streams. They don't do all of this kind of stuff. They find people, they move on and help the next family. So for them to be really putting out in, read between the lines if you want, but really in no uncertain terms that this really looks suspicious. They would not put that in the video with Nick saying call law enforcement. This looks suspicious to me. Throughout that entire video, it was a major vibe for me that they absolutely suspected foul play. And with them being a specialized team as they are, going down, finding cars, finding people, they're sort of used to seeing that. People in the driver's seat, people seat belted, unseat belted, but always in the driver's seat. She was not. The car's upside down. You have to think about if she was in the driver's seat. The car's upside down. Is she going to float all the way to the back into the cargo area of her vehicle? It just does not make sense. It doesn't. No, I don't think so. So I guess we'll look at some of you guys' comments. David, I agree. Absolutely heartbreaking.
Short. Thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm a good at bed.
Thank you guys or me?
Well, thank you, but
Okay. Oh, you're leaving?
Yeah.
You're super tired.
I am.
Okay, you guys don't know this about Tyler. He's like an 80-year-old man.
It's 3:00 in the
And
morning.
like a 30-year-old man's body.
And I worked all day.
And you did work all day. Okay. Well, I love you. Thank you for watching. So Tyler is exiting out. My co-host is done with this stream, apparently. I'll be in a little bit, babe. Okay. So, but yeah. Okay. Damien, what are you saying? I'm out. Okay. I'm out to watch in real life trash streams on IP2. This got me being depressed. It is. Yeah, here's Damien's depressed now, babe. Send him a message on Facebook or something. But no, it is. Like I said, this is my 5th time watching this. I didn't cry this time, thank God. But every single time I watch this, I just got extremely sad. Holly, hi Hal. Holly saying, agree, Jess. Their reputation is in line. They just wouldn't do anything to risk that. Yeah, exactly. If you can watch that video, yeah, Tyler's out. You know how he is. I don't even know how he's made it up this this late so far. He's not the night owl. I definitely am. But yeah, I don't think they would risk their reputation, what they've built with all of this, to say what they're saying. And they really are saying in really direct terms that this was just not an accident. And I have to say that I thought it was. I really did. I thought, this girl she was just drunk, and she maybe was trying to go to sleep in her car, maybe hit the gear shifter and rolled into the reservoirs. But that is not, it's clearly just not what happened. Yeah, he can't see you guys, but I will tell him that you guys are all wishing him good night. So, um, yeah, it's taken me a couple days because I've cried over this video so many times. So I'm glad I didn't cry this time, but it's still just crazy, heartbreaking, and you know, I law enforcement might not have been able to find her, but hopefully there's not corruption. Hopefully Sammy's family is not too connected. Hopefully these kids are not too connected. Their parents are not too connected, that they actually bring someone to justice for Kiely, because my opinion has changed. I truly did believe this an accident. I do not believe that any longer. So justice for Kiely for sure. David is saying, hi David, by the way. Plus, keep in mind the vehicle is upside down, so when a body wants to float upward, she would have floated basically to the floorboards where your feet are when you're driving a vehicle. Yes, that's exactly it. Her location in that vehicle and the windows being rolled halfway down, all the way down, it screams foul play. It truly does. There is a no wonder that Nick came up with his reaction and said what he said, which was, call law enforcement. Damien, I D again. It's so weird how small towns really stick up for each other. Well, this is basically Lake Tahoe area. So small town, I guess, but we're really talking about Richie kids, Richie people, kids that are off to college, because that's what this party was. It was supposed to be like a senior party, a goodbye party. Kiely had graduated early. She graduated at 16. She was going to, go off to college. But all, freshmen, junior, seniors, sophomores, they were all invited to this to like say goodbye. But yeah, it's more Richie people. They were telling their kids not to get involved. So this is why law enforcement was so frustrated. You have all of these kids at this party and nobody's saying anything. Someone has to know something. But they weren't talking really. So, hi Robbie, how are you? Queen of Hearts, how are you? Good to see you. That is what I pray, is that the corruption is not in law enforcement. Same. With Sammy's parents, her mother being a lawyer, you're just going to have to assume that there are connections there. Connections to judges, to courts, all sorts of legal people. So that's really concerning. But I'm kind of torn, and I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. I'm kind of torn on, was this Sammy there, or was this Kate? Because gut feel, just for me, No fact behind this, just my own gut feel. I feel like it was Kate that was there with Jagger. That's what I think. That's just my theory for now. Thistle, was there luggage or bags in the back with her because she was going camping the next day? Not that I'm aware of, Thistle. It's just Robbie, my little buddy. Exactly. So many kids there. Someone needs to speak up. There's a major cover up or some sort of blockage of information. I don't buy that these iPad babies. Okay, that's funny. These iPad babies were Snapchatting and Instagramming. Oh, they absolutely were. You know they were. Of course they were. Show me teenagers that do not take selfies at parties. They for sure do. Holly. Holly saying, yeah, Doug with AWP was backing that up to about the hush hush of the kids. Yeah. From what I'm hearing, the parents of these kids, they have a lot to protect. You know, again, you have these richy kids that are, from affluent families. They're going off to college. You know, their parents are telling them to shush. Don't get involved. Be quiet. Go off to college. Live your life. We're not getting involved in this. It's shameful, really. Damien, they're scared of being involved because it would mean court. Of course it would, or more. It's just Robbie. Exactly. 300, no picks, huh? Right. Wonder how many were cops' kids. Great point. Great point. Look at who, Sammy, look at who our parents are. What, a private detective and a lawyer are her parents? Okay. It doesn't make sense, and it absolutely points to foul play, without a doubt. Damien, for the love of God, did you have to make this reference? Damien is a bit of a jokester, you guys. It's like an episode of 90210, is it? There is a missing deceased girl. I will remind you, sir. It's Chucky, not Palo Alto, not gonna lie. Well, I'm just saying. All right. So Tyler has checked out. It is super late for me. So I'm probably gonna go snuggle up to him and go to sleep. I appreciate you guys all watching this with us. I really did want to get Tyler's just initial reaction because he has not seen that. But it's heartbreaking, and I truly hope that law enforcement gets to the bottom of this. That was a really bad statement, not to the bottom of like a freaking lake, but just to the bottom of the investigation, because I do not feel this was an accident. I did, but I do not feel that now. Go already, for fuck's sake. Okay, so you guys don't know who Damien is. Okay. I've known Damien for years. All right. And and he's gonna be in my live stream. Thanks. Oh, look, D, you already have a fan. I call him D. Everybody that he knows and himself, they call me J. Damien and I on Twitter used to be described as Kermit and Fozzie. With Kermit like yelling at Fozzie, like, yeah, that's what they said we were like. So that's it. But I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for joining us, and have a good night. Tomorrow, I am trying my hardest. Kylie's case grabbed me, but Dylan's case is still very much forefront. More things that happened today. And I still am trying to work on my House of the Dragon channel. I just don't have time for it at this time, which I am going to try to do a recap tomorrow. Hopefully I do a better job. But these cases really do take up a lot of my time. So, and I'm not complaining about that. It just is what it is. Damien J, you might regret me finding your YouTube. I doubt it, Damien. Because when it's all said and done, all these women are going to love you like they did on Twitter. I'm the only person that never wanted to date you. So as my Twitter brother, I doubt it. You'll just find more women that love you as per usual. You guys will come to love Damien. It's a part of his charm. But either way, I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.